Today, I'm talking to Selah Rhodes of Darity about her line of sustainably and ethically produced postpartum and maternity wear. Thank you for coming and talking to me today. I'm so excited to talk to you about all of this.
Hi, so nice to meet you and happy to be chatting together.
Yes. So, first, I want to know, what does Darity mean?
Yeah, so Darity is short for solidarity. I was looking for a name that wasn't already taken, that had some meaning, but for trademark purposes, they say it somewhat has to be fictitious. So that's how I landed on Darity.
I was so curious. I was like, I wonder what this is. I'm a mom too, but my kids are both teenagers. So it's been a long time since I've been in any postpartum or maternity gear. But
Mhm.
what I remember from that time in my life is that I wasn't prepared for the me part of it. When you started designing your line, what were you thinking that got you inspired to create this line?
I definitely did not start this process until I had a newborn in hand. And that's when I kind of realized what seemed to be lacking and that I was just spending a lot of time trying to determine what to wear, especially if I was leaving the house. It just felt like a burden. And so that kind of got me thinking about how I could try to streamline postpartum wear, but also have the longevity of having it be useful in maternity as well.
How was your mind able to even think of anything else while you
Mhm.
had the newborn? I mean, did you have some background in business or something that would spark this thought that
Yeah.
you could do this?
It's a great question because I don't come from a fashion apparel background. I come from a process analysis, data analytics, and strategy and operations background. So I have my MBA, and I've started in another company before that's in consulting. And so really, a lot of it was seeing these gaps because Lord knows, like I did a deep, deep dive on my baby registry. I thought I had researched everything and gotten anything I needed, 5 stars, the best of everything. And I still was direly lacking in what I needed for my journey. I think the extent of all I did was maybe research breast pumps, which I didn't even open my breast pump box till I got home from the hospital. I had some nursing bras, but I didn't realize, I think a lot of women may assume, oh, I'll never have to pump, I'll just nurse or not, but you end up being in this formula of if you're struggling with milk supply, then you may need to nurse and pump and supplement. And so that was kind of a rude awakening for me.
You talked about, when you're getting dressed to go out,
Mhm.
um, just finding it to be a struggle. Talk to me a little bit about what you were finding was lacking in
Right.
clothing and the maternity and postpartum wear that you found.
Yeah. So one was that at the time, a lot of the maternity wear, right, had ruching because it's trying to give you more space for the belly when you're full term. But when you're postpartum, you don't necessarily need the ruching and you need a little more support, definitely around your core to reinforce, but also you may need some more back support, carrying around a baby all day. And so that was definitely, I didn't use a lot of the maternity clothes I had because they all had that ruching. Two was bras. So on one hand, while it's very functional to have nursing or pumping bras that have like thicker straps, right, for the support you need, when you try to match it with a tank top or something, then you have, the straps hanging out, then you have like the top coming out. And so I was just finding that when I was trying to go out, not that people would judge me, but I myself was just like, I feel like things aren't in place. I ended up creating my own uniform, right? Of like, I know that this shirt works well with this top if I need to pump or if I need to nurse. And so, you end up creating something that works for you. But I was wishing there was something on the market that had already kind of thought through those things.
Yeah, because you do kind of feel a little bit scattered and like you're just trying to hold things together. And, you do sometimes want to feel a little more put together, not so falling apart.
And it's like the little things too, like in the early months, you may be leaking, but you'll find a lot of things may not have any padding, right? Or you have to figure it out yourself. And so there's all these things that happen for new moms where you'd prefer not to have to worry about all of those things, right? You're already like worried about everything you're packing in the diaper bag. So you want things for yourself to be a little easier.
What are the pieces of clothing that you are focusing on?
I wanted to have staples that women could wear with whatever was currently in their closet, or if they wanted to look within our line, that they would find, something for whatever their need was. We're minimalist kind of focused. So we do a legging, a jogger. We've got a tank top with double layers, a tank top with the nursing snaps in the back. And then we have some sweater fabrics that are great for coverage and kind of temperature regulating so that it's a sweater and soft, but not overheating. And so we're focused on a lot of athleisure-like styles that also transition to casual so that women could wear them on, Zoom calls or go to work, but also easily be able to transition, to the playground or at home.
You're doing lots of things, when you have a little one, and having anything that's going to make it easier for you is so very much appreciated. On your IG, you talk about a clothing capsule. Explain
Yes.
what that is.
Yeah. So for me, a capsule is kind of an all-inclusive collection of staples that you can use and kind of mix and match, right? They coordinate with each other from a style perspective, but also from a function perspective. And they're flexible enough for you to be able to wear with maybe your favorite things outside of the collection. And so what we did was we built in a lot of functionality, like pockets, nursing and pumping access, pockets in the tops and in the bottoms. We do recovery pockets in the back of our leggings and joggers as well. And they're all in neutral colorways.
Let's switch to the sustainability element that's built into your brand. What parts did you want to have a sustainability element? And tell me about how they are sustainable.
We definitely wanted to be sustainable and intentional with our fabric selection. We wanted to use materials that could integrate things like tencel, organic cotton, recycled nylon.
You're using all these different fabrics, so each piece uses the fabric that's right for the piece?
Right. So we will do a blend, for instance, of a lyocell, a modal, organic cotton, and then spandex. So they're all like mixed blends, but they're heavier weight or mid-weight materials that are meant to withstand multiple washes and last you longer. But also they're breathable. And so you're able to wear them more than just, a month out of the year. And we wanted to be sustainable with our production as well. And so I did the research to find a factory that's done the back work to make sure that they're paying a fair wage, that they have sustainable operations, they're reducing water usage, they're reusing, materials as much as they can, and that they're focused on sustainable operations. And then also in our customer experience with the packaging. And so trying to find that right balance of packaging that'll last in the mail when you make it to the end customer, but also is easily either recyclable, was already pre-recycled materials, or compostable.
So what was the most challenging part of adding the sustainability element?
Looking back, with the fabrics, it was a little bit of a challenge of reducing down. The other part was definitely the packaging. Like it's like you've got the poly bag. If you use one, decide not to. Do you do the tissue? Is it recycled tissue paper? Do you do a sticker with branding? Do you do the inside box and an external box if it's like a gift? And I have like a paper apparel mailer that I do if it's like a certain number of products, but also a box if it's, more number of products. And so matching all that together and knowing that you can go with cardboard, you can go with cardboard that's been recycled, you can go, with recyclable materials. And then what that does to the ink, right? Depending on the ink that you use as well. There are some that are more sustainable than others, but they don't like show up as well or pop as well. And so all of these are like troubleshooting steps of figuring out how far can I go in this iteration to make sure it's the best of what I want it to be. It's always a push and pull of beauty on one hand, structure on the other hand, and sustainability.
What do you feel like sets you apart from mainstream brands?
I do think a big part of what sets us apart is that we're very intentional about the marketing. I saw that a lot of marketing that gets targeted to women in general, but especially moms that are in this delicate phase of time where our bodies are changing, our emotions and hormones are shifting. A lot of the marketing is kind of like, this will make you look better, this will make you feel better, this will get you to pre-baby. And I didn't love that. I've chosen to be pretty intentional about not using certain tactics.
I wanted to just touch on what are some of the give back programs, because that's a special aspect of your brand.
I did want 1% of our sales to go globally and kind of support global maternal health, to support locally, so local postpartum support groups, and then 3, support sustainably. And so for me, one of those outlets was paid leave at a federal level, and supporting advocacy groups and nonprofits that are pushing that agenda for mothers. I felt like that was a big thing for me, because when you're a mom, especially, you have very limited time, right? You may not have the time to be on the front lines, in your senator's office, pushing things, but you can make a difference by supporting other organizations and your purchasing power.
So is there anything else that you would want to share about your brand, about your journey, about motherhood?
It's been really unique doing this process. As I mentioned, I'm not from this field. It's definitely like turns along the way and constantly troubleshooting. And it's not like this straight up trajectory of like you have a vision and then it's all good. And so while I wish it was a lot easier, I also view it a lot like motherhood, right? Because as they say, like motherhood doesn't ever really get easier. It just kind of evolves, right? As you know, with older kids, it's different, but it's definitely worth the challenge to try to blend these priorities that we have, right? As a human, as a woman, as a mother, and create these options for consumers that they can feel really great about.
So you can find Darity on Instagram at darity.co, on Facebook at darity.co, or on her website also at darity.co. I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to chat with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for making the time and space. I really enjoyed it.